everyone, it's Dara again. So I just wanted to come on here and do a quick video. I'm going to try to keep this kind of short, but there are some things that has been on my mind and I think I need to address here. First and foremost, let me say big thank you to each and every one of you who have been watching my videos and who have been commenting as well as subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. I'm not a numbers girl. I really don't care about how many subscribers I have, but just for the sake of the curious, I think I'm now up to 51 subscribers, and to me that's a big deal because when I revamped this channel back in December, right before New Year's, I was at 24 subscribers, so that's a pretty nice jump. Thank you all so very much. Thank you to all my followers on Twitter and on Instagram. I greatly appreciate it. And for those of you on Facebook who do check out my videos, thank you once again. I want to just give you an experience that I've had just the other day. So on Wednesday, as some of you may know, I went on a job interview, but when I got on the bus, it wasn't that crowded. It was just kind of semi-crowded, and there was this white gentleman who was sitting in one of those single seats, and his legs was kind of stuck out a little bit, maybe because he was just comfortable that way. Anyway, he had a cane, and you know, I didn't really pay this no mind, and you might think, okay, why is that important? I had passed by him, and so, you know, if you're from New York City and you ride the MTA buses, they always have that little handle at the end of the seat, I guess, if I'm explaining it correctly. So I went to hold on to the handle, and there was another lady who was sitting actually behind him. She looked like she could have been Hispanic, I'm not sure, but very beautiful woman, let me just say, very nice looking woman. And so she was there with her cart, and then there was some other people next to me here on my left side and others on my right. When the stop came, it wasn't my stop, but when we stopped at one of the bus stops, there was a lady who was getting off. Now, it was a bit of a squeeze because there was people behind me, and then I'm standing in front of this gentleman, and, you know, she instead of going to the back, she decided to get off in the front of the bus. So she said, excuse me, so, you know, if you're from New York City, you know what I'm talking about. So now you have to lean forward. And she went by, no problem. But I don't know, the gentleman seemed really bothered by this, like really bothered. And I should note now that I did not feel myself, you know, brush up against him. I mean, I don't know if my bag might have, you know, brushed on his hand or something, but I highly doubt it because his arm was like, he was sitting like this. So he's kind of seated kind of like this. His elbow was really jutted out in that little space, which was really rude because the woman's face was right there behind him. Okay, so the woman gets off, people are getting off, and so as we're continuing with this journey, you know, the bus started to empty out. So I approached what seemed like I was trying to move in a little bit. So he looks up at me and he's like, yeah, go to the back, go to the back. But it's the way he did it. It felt very, I hate to say this, but it felt very racial, and I can't confirm this, but it just felt that way because it's just the way he just looked at me. It was a face that I haven't seen in a very long time. The reason why I felt it was racial is because majority of the people on this bus were African American, Hispanic, or Asian, and it seemed like any person of color who passed by him or was near him, he just seemed a little bothered by that. And the reason why I know this for sure is because at the stop that came afterwards, the lady sitting behind him stood up to get off, and he looks up at her. He's like, yeah, you need to get off, and he pointed to the front, and you know, she just kind of smiled at him, you know, kind of had this smile like, okay sir, no problem, but she didn't take it personal, and she got up and she left. So at this point he kind of looks at me like I know you're not going to sit here, like I just know you're not going to sit here. And sometimes I have a wicked sense of humor, or at least and when it comes to situation, when it comes to racial things, I really hate it. Let me just say, I hate it. And I could have probably been the bigger person and went to the back, you know, because there were seats at this point. But I'm like, no, just to piss him off. And I know I'm wrong for this, but I sat there. I sat in that seat. So he looks back at me like how dare you sit here? Like you couldn't have sat anywhere else. And I did that on purpose to prove a point that 1, you don't own the bus. 2, I don't know what your deal is, but you need to get over yourself. And 3, I don't know you. And for you to be hissing, making these hissing sounds, and you're moving your shoulders, and you're doing this with your hand like as if you're trying to ball a fist, I'm thinking, what is your problem? So here we get to our stop. At this point, most people were getting off, so I went to stand up to get off. But before I did, he looks back at me and he's like, this last stop, last stop. And I just looked at him and I just had a smirk on my face, but I wouldn't say anything. So at this point, I get up as everyone else and I walk past him and I could feel him just kind of looking up at me like, yeah, you better get off. It's the irony of this story. When I got off the bus, the place where I was having the interview was like right there. I approached the front door of this place. But you know how you feel like someone's behind you? This building, mind you, has different doors because it's different agencies inside. So I really wasn't sure. It's my first time being there. But all I know is when it was time for me to go through the next double doors, ironically, the same man who hissed at me and gave me all this attitude was right there. Now, mind you, he walks with a cane, so he was walking very slowly. I didn't see him directly behind me, but when I went through the door, I was starting to proceed to where I needed to go because I saw the name of the agency and I knew I was in the right place. But at that point, as if God said, turn around. And when I turned around, there he was. And I knew he wanted to come through the doors. Now, some of you might have said, you know what, Dora, you should have kept going. But you know, I love the Lord and I like to do the right thing. And although he was rude to me, I'm not petty. So I proceeded to open the door for him. And he looked up shocked and he says, oh, I got it. Thank you, like that. And I said, you're welcome. You have a good day. And I proceeded my way. The moral of this story, ladies and gentlemen, you know, racism still exists and prejudice exists. And it's nothing new to me. I mean, just going to keep it real with you guys, you know, I'm a black woman and I'm proud of that, and I'm sure you can figure that out already. And so this is just something to be expected. But I think the irony is that this man walking with a cane, and I take that pretty personal because not too long ago I was in his shoes. I was walking with a cane. I don't know if you guys know this story, but I'll briefly mention it. I had 2 hip surgeries, the first one in 2012, the second one in 2013. So I know what it's like to walk with a cane and not being able to walk comfortably. So I'm very sensitive to anyone who has any ailments with their hips, their knees, their backs, you name it, any disability. I'm very, very sensitive about that. So I'm thinking to myself, you know, it's really sad. You end up in a situation where just the general public can be very mean about that. They're not, some people are just not nice to people who have a disability. And for you to act that way, wow, it's really unfortunate. But be careful, because sometimes what you do to, the same thing that you do to someone, it'll be that same person who end up doing an act of kindness to you. So if I was God for a day and I can change the world, there would be no such thing as prejudice. There would be no such thing as racism. You know, it's really sad that people of color, like who has this kind of color to their skin, just piss people off. It just doesn't, I don't understand it. I guess I never will. It just really, it's really unfortunate, you know. It's just so unfortunate. It's a writing blog where it's kind of correlates with this channel when I talk about inspiration or just reflection or stories or whatever. So do check that out. It's called Dora's Creative Corner, and it's Dora's Creative Corner, all one word, .blogspot.com. So check out the link. The second thing I wanted to just talk about is a little more personal, and I've been debating for a good while. Should I bring this up? Should I talk about it? If you follow me on Facebook, you would know this already. And for those who have been following my blog, Dora's Creative Corner, I've had this blog since 2010, so it won't be no secret to you if you've been following me on the blog. But for my newbies out there, let me just share with you that on this blog, I really pour my heart out. I really like to not only talk about inspiring things and reflection, but when I reflect, I really get personal. I like to talk about things that I may not do so publicly, or I may not do so vocally. You know, I tend to share more of myself, you know, in the written form as opposed to the vocal form. I'm on YouTube and I'm seeing that people actually are listening to me. And I don't know why that surprised me, but I always have this attitude that I guess I always feel like people really ain't paying me no mind, or they're not really listening, or they're not really watching. I don't know. I guess it's one of those things that I've always felt, even when it comes to my blog. I write and I'm thinking, do anybody really read what I have to say? Come on, say it. I'm not as happy as people may think I am. It's something that I don't like to always admit to, but you know what? I just feel if you're gonna come on this out here on this type of social media platform, and your goal is to be inspiring and to share with people, then you have to be honest about certain things. You have to be honest with yourself first, and then be honest with others. And because everything I do is really to make a difference in this world, I feel it's my obligation to be straightforward with you guys. I have issues with depression. I'm not going to say I'm diagnosed with depression per se, but I will say that I have issues with it. I don't always feel happy. I have happy moments, and it's something I've struggled with pretty much for a very long time. People who know me personally may not believe this because they see me always smiling and I always seem so positive, so it really comes to a shock when I say, yeah, I'm depressed, I'm not happy, and it's like, oh please. You know, they don't really believe me, but I'm being honest. I am depressed. I've been depressed for, wow, since 2010. If you go to my blog, Doris Creative Corner, and you read the first post of December 2010, because that's when I officially started, that will kind of give you some perspective, because that was really the reason why I started the blog, because during 2010, that was a very life-changing, I would say the fall of 2010 was a very life-changing experience. I was told I needed hip surgery. I had a breakup with my ex-boyfriend, and I lost my job. So it was just like three things that happened back to back. It was also a time where I felt the most alone. I've lost a lot of friends as a result of this. It was just a lot. A roller coaster of emotions, anger, bitterness, sadness, depression, you name it. Suicidal thoughts, you name it. Everything just kind of spiraled down. Since that time, you know, things have improved. I'm not going to say it's the same. I feel more stronger now than I was back in 2010, but I'm not going to lie and say that life is peachy and that I'm doing wonderful, because I'm not. It's just that I have a better perspective of things now than I did in 2010. Why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this because there might be videos I may upload, I haven't decided yet, where I might be talking on topics that may seem a little like, whoa, because this channel is really for inspirational purposes, but I think through inspiration there's struggle, and I think it's through the struggle and the hardships that can inspire us to do better and to be better people. So I can't put a message out like that and not talk about things that a lot of us go through, but a lot of us may not feel as brave or courageous to come out in the public forum like this and say, hey, this is the situation. So that's where I come in. I want to be the voice for the voiceless. There are a lot of men and women out there from all backgrounds, all shapes, all sizes, all colors, all creed, all sexuality, you name it, who are going through a lot, excuse my language, a lot of shit, okay? Going through a lot of stuff. And I think that we, sometimes as a society, we tend to do this. We tend to grow to have a blind eye to these issues, and I think it's time that we stop doing that. Mental health is just as important as physical health, and anyone who thinks otherwise, you really need to do a Google search on this and really understand that it's not something that should be taken lightly, and it's not something that should be brushed away. This is something that really cuts me to the core, when I cannot tell you how many people who I am no longer friends with, and I'm going to be very blunt. I cannot have people in my life who's going to be so insensitive to tell me that depression doesn't exist, you need to get over yourself, well, you are in charge of your own happiness, which is true, and I agree with that. But when someone is having a down day or not feeling well, that somehow it's their fault and, you know, you're to blame for that. I just can't be around people like that. And I know there are probably people who are going to watch this video and probably going to say, oh, that's why she stopped speaking to me. Yes, because I feel so tired, mentally, emotionally, spiritually tired of having to explain to people who sometimes are in the fields of social work, psychology, or have been through life experiences that I know personally, to going to come to my face and act like what I'm talking about is just something I just pulled from the sky. I'm going to speak to those of you out there who are going through some difficult times, who are feeling depressed, who may be feeling suicidal, who may feel like no one cares about me, and have people in their life that's telling them, hey, get over yourself, you know, you're weak, or you're weak for crying, or whatever. I'm going to speak for you, because you know something, somebody has to stand up and say, guess what? This is real life. Life is beautiful, but it's also difficult, and not everybody handles problems the same way, and who are we to judge and to put people down for feeling down? Suicide is real. I should know from experience, it's real. Being depressed is real. Again, I know from experience, I'm going through it now. Feeling frustrated and angry is real. And I don't give a damn if anyone wants to challenge me on that and tell me I'm wrong. Do a Google search, people. It's not that difficult. This is what it is. This is real life. Just stop assuming that everything is perfect in my world because I put a smile on my face. A lot of times it takes a strong person to smile through their difficulty. And when that person is honest and open enough and brave enough to come forward and tell you, whether it's in person or through social media or here on YouTube, hey, I'm going through something, please don't get all judgmental. Don't get your butt on your shoulders, get your nose up your head and be like, well, whatever. Like, please don't do that. Like, I really am so tired of that. You have no idea. It just gives me more reason to leave you alone. I'm serious. I have been called so many things. I have been laughed at when I have felt like I want to end it all. I have been made fun of. I've been called weak. I've been called fragile-minded. I've been called stupid. I've been called overly emotional. I'm too sensitive. I've been called so many things, and very hurtful things, may I add, for people I've been in relationships with, whether it's been friendships or actual relationships. I have been told so many things and been criticized heavily for having emotion. And last time I checked, we're human, and that's part of the process. I'm not here to tell people how to feel. I'm not here to preach and tell people if you handle depression or something bad, maybe in a different way, that somehow that makes you a bad person. No, everyone has their own way of handling it. All I'm saying is that we need to stop putting people down for having emotion, and need to stop putting people down for having bad situations happen to them and they feel because of that. We need to stop that. You don't have to care. Let me just stress that. I'm going to say this right now, and I hope I'm not sounding rude, but I'm going to say it how I feel. You don't have to care about me. You do not. I will never tell a person that they have to care about me, but what I will say is that if you're going to approach people like myself who are going through a hard time, try your best to be understanding. That's all I can ask for. You don't have to really care. You don't have to show sympathy. You don't have to pity nobody. Just try to understand. And if you don't, it's okay too. But please, please, for the judgmental, for the, oh, I never feel bad for nothing, I'm always fabulous, I'm always good, and so all you depressed people are a bunch of babies, please leave us alone. We don't need to hear that. We got enough garbage we got to deal with. Just stay in your bubble and float away. So, you know, there are people I have trusted beyond words. I have opened up to and shared more of me than I should have. And they just took that and just... This is why now I have grown the strength to walk away and to say, you know what? I don't have to tolerate your bullcrap. I don't have to put up with that. I'm better than this. And I walk away. Sure, it's lonely. It's hard. And yes, I'm still struggling. But I would rather struggle alone than to be around anyone who's going to put me down or make me feel less of a person simply because they feel that they're better, or maybe it makes their ego bigger that they can put other people down. No, not going to tolerate it, and you shouldn't either. Whew. I had to let that out. Sorry, you guys. Maybe you're seeing a different side of me, but you know what? I think we need to keep it more real today. We need to be more honest. I cannot be fake. I couldn't be fake if I tried. I hate fakeness. Seriously, I can't stand it. I'd rather you tell me your truth. Even if you hate my guts, to tell me that to my face than to pretend that you're my friend when you're not, or to pretend that you love and care about me and you don't. I can't deal with it in the relationship department, and I can't deal with it in the friendship department. I can't, and I will not. Those days are over. If you're watching this right now and you're going through it and you're feeling alone, just know that you're not. That I'm here, and there's so many other folks like me out here that are going through it too, and that we need to band together and support each other. And later, for those who want to just put us down and make us feel less than because we have emotions, and that we can identify with those emotions, we're not in denial, and that we actually want to feel better. And isn't that a good thing? Just saying. And then, you know what, if that makes people not want to speak to me no more, good. You're doing me a favor, because I refuse to fall into this attitude of I'm here to please people. I'm just to satisfy the egos or to satisfy people's bad behavior. I'm not going to do it. You only have one life, and you have to take care of yourself first. You have to. Anyway, I thank you for watching. This may not be the most yay bubbly video, but it's a video that needs to be watched. It's something that needs to be said. There's a message that I'm trying to put out here, and I'm not going to be silent no more. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching. Until the next time.